Howdy friends. First, thanks so much for watching the show. It's going tremendously well. I'm having a great time making it. Obviously this is What's This Food? We're still in our grilling week, so we're talking about all things that you can use for your grill or cook on your grill. And today's no exception. We're going old school and we're gonna make some food to cook on our grill on today's WCF. All right, so today we have a pretty innovative sponsor. It's Grill Grate, and you can check them out online at grillgrate.com. They basically have this raised rail system that keeps your food kind of up and allows for a different type of heat. Not only do you get the direct heat from below, but you also see this convection heat cooking all the way around your food. The other thing that's really great is that it creates a barrier between the actual fire source and your food, which kind of prevents flare-ups from happening, which is always a good thing. And the raised rail system that they have allows you to use their grate tool, which is like a fork spatula, to get underneath the food and lift it up so you're never scraping and potentially breaking things. So when you're cooking things that have a lot of fat in them that might cause flare-ups, this is going to deflect some of that. It's also great for cooking up things like fish. It was a pleasure using the product. I think you should check it out online at grillgrate.com today, and I think that it does wonders for any grill and that you'd enjoy it for your next grilling season. All right, so today we're talking about linguiça. Linguiça is a type of sausage that's made out of pork, and it's from Portugal. You can find it in Portugal, you can also find it in Brazil. Here in the States, it's mostly popular in the New England area. I know that it was in Boston that I had it for the first time. You can also find it in Hawaii, and if it's not labeled as linguiça, it'll be just labeled as Portuguese sausage. So flavor-wise, linguiça is a bit hot. It has some heat, but it's in no way as hot as something like chorizo, which is a common Mexican and Spanish sausage that packs a lot of punch. The main flavoring agents inside of linguiça are oregano, pepper, cumin, paprika, and garlic. And it's generally made with the shoulder of the pork, which is often the piece of meat that people use when making something like pulled pork. And the meat is ground up, but it's not ground into some really consistent paste. It's a little bit more crumbly, a little bit more rustic in texture. When we look at the history of linguiça, we find that it actually comes originally from southern Italy, and it had a lot of influence from Greek and Mediterranean cuisine and culture. Now you can find linguiça at grocery stores, either in a coil, just the individual links. We can get them as patties or even just ground up. A lot of people use them in a pinch as a replacement for chorizo if you can't get your hands on chorizo. But today, we're going to actually do something we've never done. We're going to make our own sausages right here, right now. First, cut about 6 pounds of pork shoulder into strips. This is a good time to use a boning knife so you can get right in along the bone and cut away all the meat. Grind up your shoulder through a meat grinder along with 1.5 pounds of pork fat. Put this all into the refrigerator and let it chill. You can also pop this in the freezer for a little while if you want to kind of move forwards pretty quickly, but the name of the game here is keeping things cool. I also recommend that you freeze your grinder before you start to use it, because that also is going to keep the meat more intact and not warm it up. In a food processor or a mortar and pestle, grind up 6 teaspoons of salt, 4 tablespoons of paprika, 1/3 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of dried oregano, 1 tablespoon of white pepper, a tablespoon of cayenne pepper, and 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper. Now take your bowl out of the fridge and in your mixer or by hand, combine 3/4 cup of red wine, 3 tablespoons of liquid smoke, 3 tablespoons of minced garlic, and the ground up spices and the meat and the fat. But don't allow it to become too pasty. You can accomplish this by keeping everything very cold and mixing for a shorter period of time, but at a higher speed. Now you need to get your hands on some sausage casing. When you get sausage casing, it's going to be packed in salt. You just want to soak it for a while, let it rehydrate, and then let water run through it to get any excess salt out. Once you have your sausage casing and they are clean, you want to attach your sausage stuffing attachment to your stand mixer, if that's what you're using, and put all of your casing along the nozzle, then turn it on and slowly start to add the meat into the sausage. Some people suggest tying a knot at the end of your casing. I didn't do this because I wanted to let all the extra air out before I tied the knot. And this is something that you just have to work at. You're gonna slowly put in more sausage. You want to have as few air bubbles as possible. And what you wanna do is every 3 or 4 inches, you're going to pinch and kind of twist the sausage. And then at the next 3-inch length, you're going to pinch and twist in the opposite direction. By twisting in both directions, you're going to, well, not have it unravel. You can store your linguiça in the refrigerator for a few days to a week. I would recommend that you freeze what you're not going to cook now, as it's something that doesn't take a long time to defrost and it's really easy to eat in a pinch. Any sausage meat that you don't put into casing you can save and cook for breakfast as patties. Me, I cooked them up really quickly on the grill grate. It worked really well because a lot of fat was squirting out of those suckers, but we didn't get any flare-ups, so it's pretty cool. It's a nice invention, nice product. Tune in tomorrow for another What's This Food. Be sure to check out our sponsor, grillgrate.com. And if you have something you want me to cover, you can post it in the comments below, or you can join our Facebook community by going to danieldelaney.com/Facebook. I'll see you tomorrow.